Hi you guys, it's me, Chris Colley. I'm in the rubber room this morning. I know you're thinking, wow, it's not a Wednesday or a Monday night. It's not. You're right. It's Friday morning. This morning I have my paper pumpkin group here, but not until 11. So I thought I'd pop on and just share a few things with you. First off, every time I have my paper pumpkin, anybody who has gotten their paper pumpkin kit through me and is a subscriber, I invite them over for a little paper pumpkin party once a month, and I provide some alternative ideas for their paper pumpkin kit. So this month, here is what I have. This is just that great little frame. If you are a paper pumpkin subscriber, you did see this on the back of the insert that goes inside your paper pumpkin. I am a particular fan of red cardinals, so this paper pumpkin kit was just right up my alley. When I do alternatives, I don't like to add a lot of extra product, so this is one alternative that I saw online and I just cased it. All I had to do was add this 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white cardstock on top and add a little piece of ribbon to that. This is actually the card that they provided, and I added some snowflakes and some stamping up there and some words. So the card that they provided looks like this, and I just folded it over backwards to get this look with it. So that's a real quick, easy alternative, and everything they need is in the kit except that one piece of white cardstock there. This one I just absolutely love the simplicity of it. When you have a card base that has this kind of an image on it, it's just gorgeous. So you don't really need to add a lot to it. So I added my sentiment and a couple of little snowflakes and we're good to go. So that's an easy alternative also that doesn't call for any extra materials. This is the one that's actually in the kit. It's the card base and then comes with a little piece of like snow, some trees on both sides of it, a little wood piece, and then a piece for your greetings, and then of course your cardinals and your little snowflakes. And then this one was really super easy also. What I did was I took a little stitched circle and I cut out this piece from another card. And instead of sacrificing your card, you could cut the piece out right from here and then just put another white piece back here so you could save it. And you can see down here I used a little extra piece of paper that I cut off and a little cardinal on the inside of my card for a little extra treat there. So those are 3 really quick, easy alternatives that they'll have the option of doing this morning when we meet for Paper Pumpkin. I also do a Demo Diva night once a month, where if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you're invited to the rubber room for some fun. We do a shoebox swap, and this month here are a couple cards that we shared. This one was shared by Caroline, and it was the first time I had done this, but we actually stamped these flowers. So we stamped that one in blue, orange, and then the cabana, and then it was all stamped on white cardstock, and we took our blend and colored in all of the background. I believe Caroline, if I'm not mistaken, said that this was a sample that was in the catalog. So we just took our umbrella and kind of cut it off at the end there, and this actually is one of the framelits from the Bird Ballad bundle that's on sale during the extravaganza. So that's a different way to use the piece where you don't have to actually use it as part of the bundle. And this was another one that we did. I just love that little bird set. Just absolutely loved it. And we used some of that puffy paint. I don't know, maybe you can see it there, the puffy paint on his hat and his little tassel there. And then again, some of the sequins. And this one was just kind of fun. We used the stamp set and then kind of cut out the words so that they were in both the blue and the red. And it just opens up like this. So you have your little card and you can write a little sentiment right there, or you can put your sentiment on the back. It doesn't actually open up, which is a great way to maximize your cardstock use when you're doing cards in bulk, especially like for the holiday season. And then in the background there, I think you can see that's the sweater embossing folder in the background there. And because we had just gotten back from celebration, or from on stage, I had some really nice stamp sets that I wanted to use and share. So I'll do those cards. We'll actually make those cards today. This is the one I did with the tulip set. I did not get the tulip punch, so I did have to freehand that one. So I'll bring my little basket on here. You guys know this is my little basket that they get when they come to stamp here, with all of their goodies right inside. So we'll go ahead and start. I'll get everything out because I like to have this workspace that's just cluttered with stuff, so I can't find anything. I don't know why I always end up that way. No matter how I start out, I always end up that way. So I've just come to recognize that perhaps it's because I like it that way or subconsciously need it that way. I don't know. Your white cardstock's already pre-scored, so you're just going to have to go in with your bone folder, give it a little crisp edge to it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is tape down or adhere my Designer Series paper. This is a 6x6 pack of Designer Series paper, and it is in colors. This is actually the Seaside Spray. So I'm just going to put a little bit, and again, you can use either side of our Designer Series paper. It's so beautiful that sometimes that's the hardest part of my job, is to decide which side I want to use, because they all are so gorgeous. So I'm just going to put that right on top. Okay, then I'm going to put that aside. And this is going to be my white piece here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my words on there. Always, if I have words at the bottom or top, I like to start off that way, because then I know I have left plenty of room for my words. I would hate to get my image on there and then not have enough room to put my words or my sentiment on there. So I'm just gonna, these are photopolymer stamps, so they're clear, so I can tell exactly where I'm getting them and if they're gonna be straight. Okay, so then I'm gonna take my little piece of scrap paper that's here and stamp my tulip topper on there. Just gonna set that aside so it can dry for a second. It probably doesn't need to really dry for a second, but I'm gonna let it anyways. Move that Seaside Spray out of here. I'm gonna take some Pear Pizzazz. And this is the color I'm gonna use for my stem and my flower. And I really don't want it to be quite that dark. So I'm gonna use the second generation. So I'll ink it up and then stamp off. Try and get this around so you guys can see. And then I'll put it about there, because I want to be sure I leave room for my tulip topper. And then I'm going to add a couple leaves, and I'm going to do the same thing with my leaves. I'm going to stamp off so that I get a second generation. And go in about there. And do another one right in there, so I have little leaves on there. And then I'm going to close this up so I don't end up with my card in there and ink all over it. And I am going to actually stamp my tulip again right at the top of my stem. And put that in there. I actually see some of you guys leaving comments. I can't see what they are because I can't read upside down. I know you guys think I can do anything, but can't read upside down. But thank you for leaving me comments, and I will go back in and respond to them. That's kind of my favorite part. So I'm just going to kind of give this a freehand trim. When you get your new occasions catalog, you will have the option to order a matching punch for this stamp set. It comes in a bundle, and this I think just comes with the tulip and the tulip builder punch. Absolutely gorgeous though. people that on stage were turning into the little Pac-Man guy, and they had some really fun creative ideas of things to do with it. So you're not just stuck with yet another flower. I can never have enough flowers. They're kind of like black shoes and black shirts. They go with everything. You can't have too many of them. There's like no such thing, right? Okay, almost done. This is kind of a quick, not too fussy cut, so. Okay. And then I'm just gonna pop that up on a couple of dimensionals. Let me see where I left those here. Oh, and this one just has the edges, so we'll give it kind of a big one. I don't know about you guys, but you should be using up all of their edges for this dimensionals. You get kind of different shapes with them, and this one's kind of a big one that'll go right up the middle very nicely there. And then I'm just going to set it right on top of the one that I already stamped under there. And that way, if you look in that way, you get a little bit more, you can see you get a little bit more depth to it. So, and then I just adhered it right to the front of my Designer Series paper. And again, I'm going to go right in the middle for you. And then I'm going to take a little piece of this white seam binding. This is also in our new catalog. I'm going to cut just a piece big enough to make a little bow here. And that's going to take up some of this white space up here. You could also use some little dots or some sequins there, whatever you wanted to. Sequins would be real pretty to give it kind of a shimmery effect, but I'm going to take my blends. I love the white ribbon because I can make it any color I want. So I'm going to use my Seaside Spray blends, and I'm just going to run it over my ribbon. And that's going to give it that real light. I actually am using my light Seaside blend. So it's going to give it a real light color to it. And if you want to go, the more you go over it, the darker it's going to get. So you can kind of control how dark or how light you want it. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie it in a bow. I don't know what generation you're from, but we do bunny ears at my house. Grew up with bunny ears. I think maybe my brothers and sisters did something else, and I got the bunny ears because I was left-handed, but take the two bows over and under here. And then I'm just going to pull it tight and then just play with it until I get it the size that I want it to be. And when you come to class in the rubber room, we don't like any stress or negativity or anything here. So this will be done for you and will be in part of your packet. And you won't have to stress about doing it if that's not something that you enjoy doing. Okay, so there's our bow. And I'm just going to get a little glue dot. I have my things all over. I have a class on Sunday where we're using the new Christmas Time Rose stamp set. So I got that out and working with that, and then, of course, my paper pumpkin for this morning. And so I kind of have my supplies everywhere. But I think by doing these baskets right up here that I got most of them. So I'm going to put that on a little glue dot and glue it on my card. And then I can trim that bow up just a little so it's not really hanging over my tulip. Make them nice and fluffy. There you go. How about that? This might be one of my new favorite stamp sets because I can tell it. Not only is this going to be really fun for spring and Easter cards and some bright, more vibrant colors, but this is going to make a great sympathy card too. In fact, this one says, "What a beautiful difference one single life makes." I really, really like that sentiment. So Okay, so that's the first one. And the next one we're going to do is with the I think it's Well Dressed stamp set. And it's a reverse image. And when I was doing this, I saw a video that another demonstrator had done and thought, oh gosh, I had forgotten about that reverse image kind of stamping. So I'm going to share with you a couple other ones that you can do it with after we make this card. And I used some DSP from the vintage stamp set for this one. So here's the card you're going to make. And you can see your shoe stamp only goes in one direction. So what I'm going to show you is that kind of a reverse direction to put it in. This little shoe box, it says life is short, buy the shoes. We all know life is short and you do have to treat yourself whenever you can. I like to treat myself with time spent stamping and with my friends. I spoil myself by doing the things that I really enjoy and sharing them with my friends. And I do love me some sassy shoes. So every chance I get, I gotta have some sassy shoes on. Okay, so we're gonna start with our designer series paper. And we'll get that down there. I'm hoping, I tried to line this up with the paper pumpkin thing so I could get it where you could see it. And actually, I'm going to put this little piece of paper on the bottom before I start. And that way, if I haven't got it trimmed to the right size, I can adjust it if I need to before I put it down on my cardstock. So I'm just going to line that up at the bottom there. Not very well. Okay, there we go. So I have my designer series paper on top of my designer series paper. And we'll put another layer right there. And then we'll put our little shoe box down. Have to make sure I'm getting that somewhat straight. You guys will think I had drinks for breakfast, and I did not. Okay, and this little piece is going to be our shoebox top. So I'm going to put that right on top there. And then I think, oh yeah, there it is. I have a little tiny piece of this designer series paper that I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. And again, this is where that photopolymer love comes in, because you can see exactly what you're stamping and make sure that it's centered and even. I might as well leave that one open because we're going to use it. And then I'm just going to put this on. And I'm going to add that right to the front of the card. If I work with all of these pieces first, then I am less likely to lose them. Okay, so now we're down to all I need are my shoes. Okay, so this is kind of the fun part. I'm going to take a little piece of paper here. And I have this piece of paper where I've stamped the shoe. So when we're getting ready to put it on, we are going to go ahead and fussy cut that piece. So I have my shoe on my Stamparatus along with my silicone mat. Let's see how good I am at doing it this way. I thought I had my magnet here, but I don't see it. So let's grab our other one. Okay. And that's what happened to the other one. I have a little piece of duct tape. That's what it is, duct tape. I'm just going to put that right there around my magnet. I'm going to put it right there to hold that. And then I am going to ink up this shoe. Okay? And just put it down on my piece of paper. And then I'm going to ink it up and put it down on my silicone sheet. Okay, this is going to give me an impression that when I put this back down, my cardstock is going to pick up. So I'm going to go back in with my same piece of paper, put it right on top there, and I'm going to ink again and press it down. When I press it down, it's going to push the white piece of cardstock right into the image that I just put on my silicone mat. And then that's going to give me this reverse image. Oh, I should have not used that piece of paper there. Got a little bit of crud on the background there. But that's how you're going to do that image. And then all I did from there was I took my blends and just went in and colored that shoe. And because we're going to cut it out of this piece of paper, I'm not going to worry too much about that little messy part up there, because you won't be able to tell it too much. Okay, and I'm going to actually do that with this shoe too. See how you can see that they're going in opposite directions now? And it's a little, you get a little bit of a lighter image, and it's not necessarily so crisp, but it still works for the purpose that you want it to. And still looks really nice, I think. And I'm going to take the little nubby part of my blend and color my heel with that. Okay, and for this one, when I color my heel, I'm actually going to go back in and go around the outline for my shoe. So I'm just real lightly going to cover where I overstamped that. And then, because I like sassy shoes, I am going to add some Wink of Stella, and that's going to give these kind of a little shimmery kind of look to them. Okay. So let's add our Wink of Stella. And I'm going to Wink of Stella the entire shoe except for my heel. I'm going to leave the heel just plain. Okay, I'm going to do both of them. And we have these really great Noble Peacock rhinestones. And I did use the Peacock blends and ink for this. Okay, so we're just going to give these a real quick fussy cut, and then we'll add them to our card, and we'll put a couple rhinestones on. Now don't go away, because I want to share with you, we are going to use another one of the stamp sets called Free as a Bird. It's a Free as a Bird bundle, and it is one of the bundles that are on sale. Today is the last day they're on sale for an additional 5% off. All of Stampin' Up! Bundles are normally priced at 10% off. So today you're going to get an extra 5%. And if you're a demonstrator, you'll get an extra minimum 20% on that. If you're Bronze Elite or above, you'll get 25% off that, which would bump it all the way up to 40%. And then you get your volume rebate. So you could be getting as much as 50 or 60% off those bundles. As well as ink and cardstock. Some inks and some cardstocks are on sale. So it's a great time to stock up on those things also. I did stack up on some cardstock because I use a ton of cardstock between all of my classes and events. And so being able to get it at a discount really helps. And then on sale with my discount is even better. So I did place just a little cardstock order. So I'd be ready for the next couple of weeks. I have some holiday cardstock or holiday classes coming up. So we'll be using that. Okay, so we won't keep you here, but I was going to show you the how to use this technique on that also. So all I'm going to do now is just place the rhinestones on the shoes and put them by my shoebox. And then we're good to go with that. But I like being able to do that reverse image. I think that's kind of a cool little trick. So I'm going to share it with you using the Free as a Bird suite. Let me get myself together here for a minute. And we'll take this stamp off. Let me grab my stamp cleaner here. And I'm just going to spritz my silicone mat. And your ink will come right off your silicone mat too. So I'll get my mat and my stamp. Real clean. I got some background noise from my shelf this morning here. Okay, so then we'll take this bird. This is your Free as a Bird bundle. And it comes with all these great bird pieces. And then these, those framelits that I showed you earlier that go like this. They're kind of like a rectangle that's kind of pointy. So that's the framelit that goes with it. We'll get my shoe out of here. And I'll put it there so I don't lose it. So we'll just put our bird up here. And when you go to use your stamp apparatus, this is a rubber base. So you don't really need this one in here. I don't think, but let's see. So I'm just going to put this bird where I want it. So let's say I'm going to put him right there in the middle of my card. And we're not actually going to make a card. I just am going to put him on here so you can see how that technique works. Okay? So we'll stamp him on here. I'm using the Memento pad so I can actually color him with my blend. Okay. And then, there we go. Take that up. We'll ink him up. And we'll stamp him on our silicone mat. Now, one thing when you're using your stamp apparatus, if you don't get all of that image, you can always go back in and pick it up again. So now, I'm going to turn my paper over, line it up here. I'm going to put my little magnet on there, just to be on the safe side. Don't want anybody moving now. Okay, now when I push this image, my little stamp in here, remember what it's going to do is it's going to push my cardstock down onto the image that I put onto my silicone pad. So we'll move that out of the way. There you go. So now you have the two birds looking at each other. Okay, this is super, super duper fun to me. I could stay here and play with you all day, except I do have to do just a few more things before my Paper Pumpkin group gets here. So I will flip you up and see if you have some questions or comments for me real quick. But I did want to point out to you also that this other stamp set that's on sale too. It's a bundle called Dino Days. And it's the perfect stamp set to use this technique with also, because you have lots of fun dinosaurs. Look at how fun those dinosaurs are. So you could make this one a reverse image, so they would just be looking at each other like we did here. I think those are so fun. You could have two of the long guys with a little heart in between them. So these pterodactyls. This would be a really fun set too. And it again is on sale just for today for that extra 5% off. And this one comes with framelits bundled with it too. Look at this one. This one is an egg, like a dinosaur is born in. It's just all cracked up where it came out. So really just a super duper fun set to use that reverse stamp technique with also. Okay, so hang on and let me flip you up here and see if you guys have any questions I can answer really quickly. Well, you're really close. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, Michelle's there. Hi, Michelle. Michelle just was talking to me and saying she wanted to learn that technique. So now you see it firsthand, Michelle. And Susie, thanks for watching. I'm hoping someday that I am going to get to meet you and we can do our paper pumpkins together. I hope that you saw the paper pumpkin alternatives that we're going to be doing today. I'm excited for those. I like our paper pumpkin days. So, okay, you guys, thanks for watching me. And I'll be back on Monday. Have a super fun weekend. Remember to grab those online extravaganza things while they're on sale. And I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.